Right. That's the best part. Oh, I have a ticker too. I'm going to show our ticker.
You got your ticker.
Bring your questions.
Right on.
Bring questions. So I'll make sure I go over to the comment page so that we
Cool.
can see if people
Now,
actually
I don't
ask
drink.
this one.
I don't drink coffee. Is that going to be okay?
I don't drink
allowed to-
coffee either.
Okay, well, so we're on the coffee-free Coach Coffee Chat. I love it.
Right. Well, I tried to make it something people would say, "Oh yeah, I know what it is to go for a coffee," even
Yeah.
if they don't drink coffee. Right.
We can
So-
do coffee talk, and I'll be the client.
Coffee. Exactly. You're the best.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm actually drinking green tea. Hi, Margaret. Margaret says, "What?" So Margaret,
What?
this is Margaret is one of the people who teaches Tai Chi in our, it's not mine, in our energy and flow studio.
Cool.
So Margaret, this is my friend Blake. Hi, Carol.
Margaret.
Hi, Carol's here. Margaret's here.
Oh,
This is
Carol.
my friend Blake. Blake is super amazing. He's a super amazing coach. And you just recently rebranded. What do you call it now?
Now I call it Blake Miles Abundance Coaching.
Abundance Coaching. I was going to introduce you as Transformational.
Yes. Well, I
You
mean,
are-
it's still transformational, and N2L still plays into it because N2L is never too late. Never too late is a big part of my life and my coaching. So it's all still part of it, but I decided to be brave and stop hiding behind my company name and put my
Right,
my
N2L.
name on it. So, yeah.
Gumpy. What is Gumpy?
Okay, so Gumpy is also part of my life journey. So 10 and a bit years ago, when my granddaughter was born, I was a mess. My life was just a horrible mess. I was in a nowhere job, and that job had me sitting around for 9 to 12 hours a day, eating bad food. And so I weighed over 300 pounds when I left that job. I had to leave the
Did
job.
you have fluorescent lighting and everything?
Yeah.
Cubicles?
That's right. Yep.
Right?
Yep. Big stool and the whole bit. So, yeah, they brought in a new freight, a tear calculator, right, for all the freight we were putting on the trucks.
Okay.
And this was around my last month or so at work, and I got on and started pushing the buttons. And the supervisor from the other side ran over and she goes, "Hey, get off that. It's an expensive piece of equipment." She said, "It won't work anyway. You don't weigh enough to register on a freight scale."
Oh, my.
I did.
Oh, my.
And, a reading came through and she just stopped. Diane stopped and looked at it and went, she didn't know what to say. She's like, "Oh my God, you've registered on a freight scale." So I realized, uh-oh. And so, yeah, I had so many things to change in my life. My family was crumbling and my marriage was falling apart and everything. And so as my granddaughter got older and I underwent these changes, she was there. She was part of it. She was part of the change for me. And one day we were trying to get her to say Grampy, and she called me Gumpy.
Okay.
Which was a particular honor because my father-in-law, all of his children and grandchildren called him Bumpy. And he was a really terrific person. I modeled some of the new me after him, in fact. A very kind, sweet, loving man. And so
I can't imagine you any other way.
Oh yeah, it's wild. Fortunately, there's not a lot of record of it, but some people knew me back then, and they were amazed to see the change. But so when I became Gumpy, it was a pretty great honor. But now what I like to tell people is part of my transformation was going from being grumpy to being Gumpy.
Right.
So
I was going to say, you just forgot the R. No, there was never an R.
No, although my wife still says it that way sometimes. She's not trying to say anything. There's nothing in between the lines. She just says Grumpy sometimes out of nowhere. No. And Chris Noble, he still calls me Grumpy.
Right. I think I met Chris one day. Yes, he's at West, right?
Yes, that's right.
Another coach. Yet another coach. The world of coaches.
We're surrounded.
We're surrounded by coaches. So I thought maybe you were going to say that, your life was not happy and you took yourself off to Aruba.
No, I didn't actually get to Aruba until most of my transformation was done. I actually have a picture of
Wow.
myself in 2012, the beginning of 2012. I should have had that standing by to show you. I don't know if you've seen it. So I have a picture of myself at the beginning of 2012, and I had an extra me sort of in front there. Looked like I was expecting anytime. And then I have a picture beside from late 2014, so December 2014, which is when we were first in Aruba. And they're entirely different people. So one fellow is, yeah, well, 2 and a bit, to be fair. It was the beginning of 2012 and the end of 2014. So pretty close to 3 to be fair. But
Well,
in that span of time, well, I lost 110 pounds. So
to get rid of a whole extra person.
Exactly. I shed a person in 3 years. So, yeah, exactly. Even with the best divorce lawyers, it often takes way longer to get rid of an entire person.
Oh, you're too fast. You're too fast.
Yeah.
So we've been chatting away. So I met you, you met me, and then you met me again, and you told me I've met you before. Do you remember that conversation?
That's right. Yes.
And I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I don't remember. And the first time you met me is the one I didn't remember. That was at a fitness conference, correct?
That's right. Way back when. Which would have been about a year after the aforementioned transformation. So
the aforementioned transformation.
Yeah. So you've seen that.
Was that the year that I was teaching? Or was that a different year?
I think you were teaching, but where I met you was at David Dorian Ross's breakout session, and you were primarily running camera for him, but I think you were generally helping him out. So, yeah, I
was go for girl, go for water.
That's right.
Do this. Yes.
Yeah. And we hit it off because I came over to see what you were doing because I said, what are you attaching to your phone? Because you were such a tech whiz, as you still are.
Right.
and we get into this little nerd conversation, and it was love at first sight.
A little heart for you. So Margaret actually is one of David Dorian's students as well. So that's how, like, a lot of the teachers in our online studio all came from that world. I think all of us did, actually. So it's funny that you're there, but it's like all this interweaving. There's hardly there's no degrees of separation. No. We are all one, really, right? And then I saw you again a few years later, but I knew who you were then.
Yes.
So you're coaching now. You haven't really changed what you're like. Who do you coach? I'd want to say.
Well,
who are you taking to Aruba? Tell us about Aruba. Your ARUBABUNDANCE.
ARUBABUNDANCE. Well, ARUBABUNDANCE is a portmanteau of two well-known, a location and a mindset. But once you combine them, you create something that is a state of mind all of its own. So ARUBABUNDANCE it's an event, but it's more of a state of mind. And what ARUBABUNDANCE is the kind of abundance where you don't question, you don't worry, you don't fret, you accept the abundance in. So abundance is the opposite of scarcity, but ARUBABUNDANCE is the absence of scarcity. It's where it doesn't exist anymore.
You have thought about this a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And you're doing, am I right in saying you're doing it virtually this year?
Yes,
Are you doing the virtual?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared to take responsibility for putting that many people on a plane. I belong to several Aruba-based, Facebook groups, and I see a post every day. We're on our way, and it's like, well, okay, if you want to, go ahead. Even though they are a level 4, like everybody else, and we've seen some nasty footage from the airport, from Queen Beatrix Airport, and they're not taking very good precautions. So I don't know how they've gotten away with it so far, but they put in some curfews at the beginning of the year. So things are a little different, but anyway, if people want to go, I suppose if it was kind of in my set of plans right now to go, I'd probably jump on a plane and get out of here. But I can't be responsible for putting 20 people, onto a plane into a closed space, and it's too much. We got to wait till things are clear. So instead,
and it's not forever.
We decided to do it virtually. Yeah, no, exactly. We've already got plans for 2022. We're taking orders and blah blah blah. So we're getting ready.
I saw you were almost full already for 2022. Is that right?
Well, it's a great event. People know somewhat what to expect. It's Aruba, and of course, people want to get the heck out of here. People want to, I'm putting people on a plane and shipping them somewhere nice. I'm in. Don't you want to hear details? Nope.
I'm good. Just send me.
I don't even care where we're going. So yeah, I don't know if everybody's coming for the actual event and experience so much as Aruba. Sounds good. Let's go. So.
And how many people are you taking?
Well, we're trying to create a couples experience, but it's not like a romantic couples experience. So you just need to be a duo because we're going to get 2 villas and we want to put 2 people in each room. So
that's interesting because for some reason I thought your main people that you coached were men.
As a matter of fact, the majority of my clients are women. Actually, yeah, and I don't want to pigeonhole or generalize. So take this statement with a grain of salt. But in my experience thus far, women are much more open to the concept of abundance. So that's obviously not absolute, but thus far, the reason I find I get men will take my courses, they'll drop in on a class, they like to tune into the show even, but they won't train with me, they won't coach with me because they hear the word abundance and go, that's a myth, that's a fallacy. And I know I believed it too for a while. Right.
I mean, everybody has the ability to change. So I did a little post this morning about, if you don't believe it, then it'll be hard for you to get there if you believe that it's not possible, right?
That's right.
But that's what I said coaching was for. I said coaching was, the days that you feel like it's impossible, the coaches are going, you can do it, kind of thing.
Yep.
So that's funny. I don't know why I thought most of what you coached were men. Maybe, I don't know. I don't even know where that came from. Because your company before was Never Too Late. So maybe that made me think of men. I don't know.
Now, see, again, most men are habitually tardy. So, in my experience, women are more punctual, except my wife. She's the exception.
Right. So you're still doing Never Too Late as kind of your theme, but now you're doing abundance.
Yeah, I guess what I've done in a way is I've added Never Too Soon as kind of an amendment, as a codicil. It's never too late, but it's also never too soon. Life is short. Get on with it. Get going.
Right.
The problem with never too late is sometimes that sort of grants people permission to wait. And believe me, don't wait.
Right.
Don't wait.
No, that's true.
So yeah, I guess I've added it's never too soon. I've sort of joined the two thoughts together. If it's later in your life, don't think that it's too late to begin. But if it's early in your life, don't think it's too early to start either. So, get on there and grab it. Go whatever stage of life you're at. So that's why I thought, why don't I just encompass it all in what I really want people to embrace, and that's abundance. Late, early, here, there, men, women, whatever it is, abundance. And so
and I wonder if sometimes people, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying the theme around abundance that I push is living a life that is a vacation rather than living a life that constantly requires vacation.
Right. Like sitting in a cubicle with fluorescent lighting, planning your next vacation.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And I wonder if sometimes people get caught up in the idea of abundance and they only think of it around financial, financial.
Wonderful point. Wealth is one kind of abundance. Exactly. Yes.
Right. Because there's so many things that can encompass abundance, but we just get caught up in that kind of, and it's kind of the world around us, right? It's like striving, money. I don't know what your Facebook, your social media sponsored ads look like, but mine are all like, make $10,000 and this fast and make your first 6 figures. And I'm like, oh my gosh, can you slow down with the ads are all the same.
That's the noise, right? As I like to call it, the noise. And it's the voice of scarcity and its subsequent echo. And what it is it's constantly telling us you need it right now. There's not enough, so get yours. If you wait, you're going to lose. It's just pounding and pounding into our brains all the time. And to break that mindset is really difficult. So what a lot of people challenge me sometimes is they say, okay, if you're creating the life you don't need a vacation from, why are you piling everyone on a plane and going to Aruba? And I said, well,
why are you?
Well, because it's isolation. We got to turn off the noise.
You need to unplug it. Right?
It's very hard to hear the noise from that little island. There's not a lot of noise on the island of Aruba. There's a lot of abundance and a lot of abundant thinking. And it's a great way to cut people off and just, put them where they can't hear the noise anymore. And once you can get the mind completely clear, and that's the challenge of our virtual event. I can't take people away and isolate them for 7 days. In fact, I only get people for 1 hour each of the 7 days. And so we're creating a lot of homework so that people can learn something in the hour and then take it through the whole next day and integrate it. So in place of immersion and isolation, we're creating integration and application. So it's, you put it to work right away in your life, because you got to get up tomorrow and start your life, normally anyway. Whereas when we're away for the 7 days, we can't really do the integration in the other one because we're at it all the time for the 7 days. We're immersed in it. Then we send them home and say, now, don't forget. So we're just sort of swapping the process and taking advantage of what we have in each case.
It would be interesting to see which one is easier for people to get a longer term change from. I mean, I spent a month in an ashram in India a long time ago. Like just a few years ago. It was like 13 years ago. What? And I had been quite caught up in you get caught up in everything and stuff going on. And when you're in an ashram in India, there's nothing. You get up when the bell goes off, it's dark. You go do yoga. You do the things you're supposed to do during the day. There's a couple of yogas. There's, hot in the afternoons, lay around and do nothing. And at a couple of weeks in, I went, wow, I'm not worried about anything. Like, I couldn't even remember what I was worried about. Like, that was how unplugged I was. And you can't, it's hard to get that if you're at home, even if you're COVID isolated at home, you still have your social media, you have your TV, you have your mail, you have all the noise. So it's hard to get. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when you take them to Aruba. Do you take their phones away?
Oh, yeah. Unless they're off premises. Right? Once they're off, for safety's sake, when they're off premises, then.
I guess.
But you don't leave site very often.
Lock them in there.
Well, because we pay for everything as long as you're on site. As soon as you head into town, you got to, buy your own food and whatever, and everything. Everything's covered if you're on site at the retreat. So why would you leave? We got a pool. You can walk down to the beach and come back in time for your next meal. So you can always wander, but why would you leave site for a long time? So yeah, your phones are accessible once you leave, and you got to turn them back in after you come back. So
that's smart.
Absolutely do. And again, something I can't do in the virtual. So I wish I could. That'd be impressive, eh? As soon as people tune in, I press a little button and their phones go all screwy or something. Be like, don't mess with me.
You could ask them. So have you read the book 24/6?
No.
Ooh. So I read this book a few months ago. I think her name's Tiffany Shlain. Yeah. And she's a proponent for 1 24-hour period a week being completely off all screens. And it takes a bit of planning.
Oh, yeah.
Because, there's still lots going on. But I've started doing it that's why sometimes on my Instagram, you'll see Happy Screen Free Sunday. I've actually automatically got that to post. That's not me posting it. So I've got this program that posts my Screen Free Sunday for me. And I unplug from, I work out on Sunday morning. I live stream this on demand until Monday morning when I work out again. And I have all screens turned off, unless I'm like in a Professional Speakers Federation course or something. Plug for Chris Captura. But, and at first it was like, what do I do with myself? What do I do with myself? I felt like my thumbs should be doing something, you know, scrolling. Yeah. But then I realized that I'm old enough to remember when I didn't have even a cell phone, and how much I used to do, like just outside of work stuff. You could do stuff. So now my Sundays are full of like, I'm working on projects, and your mind has time to just let the dust settle. We leave the TV off. Mm-hmm. We just stream a little music on the internet, where we allow ourselves music, but there's no commercials or anything. No. And it's just quiet. That's all. And it's so, Monday I wake up, I go, I got so much to do. Let's do it. But you have to give yourself that permission to do it. So on the days that you're teaching them, can you ask them to unplug for just one day?
I'm sure I can. I'll certainly ask them to unplug for the hour, at least put the do not disturb on. So
right.
That's what I always do.
Yeah.
In fact, let me share my strategy with you, because
okay, tell me.
Rather than doing a day of, I incorporate it into every single day. I have what I call sacred time. I have about 18 slots of sacred time every day, which includes meditation, time with the grandkids, time with my family, time with my dog, you name it. And of course, flow time. But had to throw that in.
Of course.
But the three modules that I have in there where the phone is off, the rest of the time I just do not disturb to set it aside so it doesn't bug me when I'm meditating or doing something like that. But my 3 locked out times, this is what I actually do. My phone has a little neat function on it where I can have it go to sleep. And as soon as it goes to sleep, it requires a password to turn the sleep off. Right. I don't have the password.
Who has the password?
My wife. My wife has the unsleep password. So I have to go to her and explain why I need it turned off. And 99% of the time it's because time's up. I've done it. I did it. I had my sacred time and my phone was off. And
so
you cannot
day?
do anything. You can't get you can't touch it. It's useless unless you punch in that password.
What kind of phone is it?
It is, oh God, it's
oh gosh.
I was hoping it would say on it, but the cover is, I guess, hiding it. It's called a Note something, Note 9, Note 8.
It's like it's an Android.
It's an Android, yeah. I think it's a Samsung.
I have a Samsung.
As clever as I am, mine has a little. Hang on, can you see it? There we go. Mine has a little.
Oh, that's old school.
Yeah, it is. But they still make them. The newest one that came out still has the actual that little pen. It's stylus, I think is what they call it.
Yeah. Talk about old school. I used to have a Palm Pilot that had one of those little slide out.
Yeah. Well, I love it because I got these little fat little fingers and they never make it. So I take that out and I tick, 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 tick. It's great. And you can write something as long as it can read your writing. You hit convert and it turns it into type, like into text. And
so you can't write like a doctor.
Well, I can, but it won't turn into anything if I do.
So do you do that 18? What do you call them?
My sacred
time.
Yeah.
Do you do that every day?
Yep. Yeah.
How many minutes is that?
Oh, it's not very many because some of those are only 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes. Well, I mean, one of my sacred blocks is first thing I get up in the morning, gratitude. Always have gratitude first thing in the morning.
Do you have like a little checklist for checking off your?
No, sometimes if I stumble on something, like if I hit a new gratitude And it's like, I'll just remember it. And then as soon as I turn the phone back on, then I just type it in. I just add it into my notes so I can look at that really quickly. Sometimes before I start my affirmation, my invitation, my gratitude, or any of those other rituals, I open my phone quickly and go to my notes, and I'm reminded of some of yesterday's, and I'll checklist to say, did I do it? Did I get that one done? And yes. And then I'll shut the phone off, get the music going, and then my first bit of gratitude is, my very first gratitude every morning is, thank you, I'm alive.
Yes. Woohoo!
I woke up, and then my very next one is usually gratitude for whatever invitations I had yesterday, things I invited into my life and accomplished if I got them done before the end of the day. So I show gratitude to that. Sometimes that's a gratitude to myself, I did it. And other times it's gratitude to those who helped, the universe itself, etc. It's, it depends on what it is, but those are my 1 and 2. And then the rest of my gratitudes are just, the obvious things of my family and my health and surviving through COVID and, all the rest of it and anything else that just brings to mind. And that's why it's a meditation. I just kind of let them pour out whatever jumps into my head. I let it sit there, I bask in it, and then I verbally put it out there. I actually say it so that my subconscious hears it clearly. And that never takes more than a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes if it's a really good day and I got lots of gratitude. So, and my invitation takes even less because there's only 1 or 2 things I'll ever invite into my life. So, and of course, invitation comes after gratitude. I don't know if your viewers are interested in this. And my son, by the way, calls this my gay ritual. Because it's gratitude, affirmation. No, it's gratitude, affirmation, invitation. GAI.
Okay, GAI.
Yeah, and my son thinks it's a bit wooey, so he calls it my gay ritual. Fine.
He'll get there someday.
He will. He's already kind of coming around. But anyway, you start with gratitude because gratitude is the way you take stock of what you already have in your life, which gives you your inventory so that you don't have to waste time with your affirmation and invitation, seeking things you've already got. We waste so much time looking for stuff we already have, right?
You're so brilliant.
So then when your affirmation comes, your affirmation is, everybody thinks affirmation is, oh, you're so good, Blake. No, affirmation is assuring yourself you have the strength and the power to go out and get more things to be grateful for. It really is. It's mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and even financial acquisition into your life. Every day you want to bring something new into your life. And so affirmation,
are you affirming what you, so you have your gratitude?
Yep.
Affirmation is before invitation.
Yes. Gratitude, then affirmation, which is because it's like a team taking the field. You're not going to send them out to the field, let them play a quarter or a half or whatever thing of the game, then bring them in and give them a pep talk. You're not going to go after the win. You're not going to seek, the prize before
I get you
prepare yourself to do it. And that's what affirmation is. It's telling yourself you have the strength to go out and get what you're about to invite into your life. Then you invite.
Then invite it.
Yeah, some really fun mornings, there is no invitation. I'm grateful. I take stock and see that my inventory is overflowing. It's abundant. And my affirmation is to tell myself I do have the strength to seek what I need, but I also have the serenity to figure out that today I don't need anything. I need to just enjoy all that I have brought in so far. And so my invitation is simply an invitation to myself to chill and bask and enjoy my abundance. And
that's amazing.
That's a joy a lot of people don't get to have in their life. And it's underrated because, oh man, there's no greater feeling than going out into your day and going, I can kind of just blow this one. Today, nothing really has to get accomplished.
I got this.
Serving my family and making sure everyone's safe and well, which is autopilot when you lead an abundant life. But as far as actually driving and striving and pushing and trying to get something in the grind, not required today, not needed. Whoa, that's an incredible freedom. And that's a life.
That's a hard thing for people.
It is.
I think that's really hard because I find in North America, and I've noticed that it's kind of seeping into places that I consider more chill and relaxed. Our whole culture is like drive, drive, drive. I always remember Tim the Toolman Taylor. Maybe it was at an influential point in my life. It's like bigger, stronger, faster, has to be more power. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It's working fine.
That's right.
Everything's good. What do you need more? Why?
Yeah. Someone I coached once said to me, wow, that's amazing to achieve a day where I feel confident to just let it coast. That'd be very difficult to achieve. And I said, well, let me correct you on that. It's actually very easy to achieve. It's difficult to accept and embrace. The problem is that you would have trouble accepting that you actually have a day that you can let it coast and be okay with it. And even if you found the strength at the beginning of the day to resolve to have one of those days, by midday, you'd be losing your mind. And by nighttime, you'd go to bed going, what did I do? I just,
oh my God, a whole day.
Yeah. I wasted a day. It's like, how did you waste a day? You spent quality time with those you love. You enjoyed yourself. You relaxed, you recharged, you reset. How's it a wasted day? Well, because the noise of scarcity was telling me all day long, slacker, loser, right. You're letting me down. You're not, you should be grinding. Why aren't you hustling? It's all crap. It's all garbage noise. And that's,
but I wonder when it becomes because it's just a habit, right? When does that habit become entrenched? Because I can remember summer vacations where I would get up in the morning, I'd go outside and go, what am I going to do today? Yep. Not worried about much of anything.
And you never.
And now you get up in the morning, you're like.
That's the beautiful part. You asked the question, but it was rhetorical. What am I going to do today? Nothing.
What am I going to do today?
I'm going to do nothing today.
Now when I get up, it's like, oh my God, I have so much to do today.
and we asked the question rhetorically 25 more times. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to get this done? How do I? And it's incredible because we're speaking in someone else's voice. That's the problem. Right. Those are someone else's words coming out of our mouth. I have to get this done. Well, you don't. You really don't. You
really don't.
But he thinks you do, and she thinks you do, and they think you do, and yeah, exactly. The universe won't even blink. The world will spin on everything. It's like everybody except two people that you somehow have completely invested your entire well-being into the hands of. They believe you have to get this done. And the really crazy thing is if you didn't, those people would not show up later with pitchforks and torches and go and lynch you. Or you would survive. You would go on.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
And I've noticed for myself, the have to get it done, you have to get it done is actually me. Because I'm only I work for myself, right? I'm the only person telling me what to do. And right. I'm really bossy.
But you answer to more people than the average employee.
Perhaps.
Employees answer to their employer, right? Entrepreneurs answer to every customer's need, every customer's whim, the market, you name it. We answer to way more than we think. It's all fine and well to say, I'm my own boss, but...
But we also answer to the people who we don't know yet.
That's right. Yes.
Right.
Exactly. Very few employees have to answer to someone they don't know. Yeah. We answer to total strangers. Exactly. That's
a good point. Very good point. Very good point. Yeah. So when did you decide to leave your stool and become a coach?
Well, like I said, all of it was really activated by my little sweetheart, Alora. And Jack jumped in a couple of years later to
I've only ever seen Jack
join the ranks. Yeah, Alora was the one where it all started. She was born almost 4 years ahead of him, and she was, of course, a surprise. So we don't use the words accident or mistake. Because accident means that my daughter doesn't take responsibility for her actions. And mistake
people just arrive earlier than expected.
Exactly. And mistake was the word that my mother used.
Right.
To describe me. I was not wanted. Get your violins out. Here we go. So we avoid those words. We say unexpected or surprise. Surprise is our favorite because, surprises actually take planning. So it's not a problem.
A good one anyway.
Yeah, it just, she was a message from the universe. I hate to say,
straight. Did you go straight from your cubicle into being a coach?
No. Oh goodness, no. I traveled. Oh yeah, I traveled through. I walked through a number of doors before I got into the room I belonged in. What basically happened was I was handed an ultimatum. It's like, look, you're not going to throw your daughter out into the street, so she's got to go back to school. So someone's going to have to take care of the baby. Abortion, adoption, blah, 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 blah. Not to judge anyone who has to take those paths, but they were not an option for us. So, hey, it's pretty cut and dry here, Blake. You're going to have to leave the job. You're going to have to take care of the baby. You are going to have to get in shape because you can't walk up a flight of stairs without stopping for 2 breaks. So she's going to go from infant to toddler. So
you got to be able to keep up, man.
It was kind of like an answer to prayers. It was kind of going, looking at my life, looking at myself, going, how am I going to fix this? And someone went, here, this will help.
Here, have a baby.
Catch this baby. Don't drop her. This should get everything sorted out for you. It's like, yeah. And away I went. Gosh. And so, yeah, I lost the weight. I got everything going. And the first step toward coaching was at the gym I went to, which I chose because it had a great kinder fit for Alora. I was there for, I think, about 8 months, and I'd befriended one of the trainers that was there. And I hadn't hired him, but he would just help out. It was a city facility, and he was a good guy. Anyway, Russell was his name. And Russell came up to me one day after about 8 months, and he said, you see all the people in the gym here? He said, some of them are your friends now. I'd befriended some of them. I said, yeah. He said, do you know when you leave, do you know what they do? I said, I don't know, laugh at me. I said, no. He said, they walk over to me and go, what's he doing? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you've been here for 8 months and you have transformed yourself. I'd lost about 70 pounds, I think, at that point of that conversation.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first few pounds are always the easiest, right? It was the other 40, that really,
that last
took some time, but yeah. But the initial had really happened quickly. And he said, because they've all been here the same 8 months you have, and they all look pretty much the same as they did 8 months ago. And it's not that they're not trying. It's just, they don't have quite whatever you got. And he said, I'm a trainer. I'm a professional certified trainer. And I'm not sure what you're doing that's making it happen. And I put my arm around him. Well, I said, Russell, I have no choice. I'm on the clock. I have a specific requirement, and that's the difference between me and everybody in here. My motivation. That's all it is. Right. I'm not better than them. I'm not superior. It's not my endomorphic structure. It's that failure is not an option for me. Unfortunately for these folks, they'd like to succeed, but failure is still an option. And, when it gets too tough or, they're struggling or whatever, there's nothing that tells them, I don't care. Get on with it and get it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some of them would be there for 2 hours and they'd sit a lot. I was there for the 40 minutes that I was allowed to allot to it. I've never worked out for more than 40 minutes because I'm used to having that amount of time. And I worked the whole time with adequate rest, of course. But
yeah.
And I was there every single day. Thursday wasn't gym day.
Thursdays are your day off. But it's true. If you don't,
I had no days off at the beginning, but then I started to take weekends.
If you don't have something that and it doesn't have to be a, you're going to die kind of goal, but if you don't have something you're working for, if you're just going to work out because someone told you to work out, you're going to get different results than if you go and work out and say, I need to do, this is where I'm going to this place.
You got it. The main reason why
going back to the voices telling you what you have to do.
That's right. You got to have saying let's do. And it's the main reason resolutions don't work, because 99% of resolutions, we're doing something that someone else has suggested, either directly or indirectly. What are you going to do? What do you got? New Year's resolution? I'm going to lose some weight. Okay. First of all, how much weight? How are you going to lose it? Wait, I don't know. I just know I need to lose some weight.
Why are you doing it?
Yeah. Why are you and how do you know you have to lose some weight? Oh, because a thing I saw in a magazine or a picture I saw, or I want to look like him, or that's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to make.
Somebody told me to.
Yeah,
right?
Someone told me to, whether directly or indirectly. And again, that's still noise. That's still part of the noise of scarcity. And the crazy thing was, I wasn't doing it to look good or be slim or pick up girls or whatever else. I was strictly doing it for the. Oh, thank you. Stick around after the show. No, I did it strictly for the energy. It wasn't even necessarily for my health. It was just the energy. It was just having the energy to keep up with the child. But the thing is, if you
didn't want to use chemical energy.
You get right, exactly. I wanted it to be natural. But when you train for energy, kind of everything else falls into place. So energy and strength, right? I needed the strength, to pick up and stuff. So when if you train for energy and strength, most other things are going to fall into place. The only thing that never really happened was hypertrophy. I didn't end up with big bristling muscles because I didn't have the time to train.
Neither did I.
Kind of thing, I mean, I got something there, but I have a very slim physique. So as soon as I lost the weight, I was a little guy again. I wish I could go from being chubby fella to being giant muscular fella, but I don't. I just shrink back down to my natural slimness. And
so you got to check a video on YouTube by Arnold. It has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, like old school Arnold.
Oh yeah,
talking about how he and those old school guys got so big without chemical enhancements. And I mean, those guys worked hard. That's how they got so big. Like that was their life. But you don't need those big bristling muscles. You're fabulous the way you are.
I just want to be healthy. I just want to live a long time because I love every minute of every day of my life. And, even when things aren't going so great, and that is the definition of abundance. People say abundance being wealthy, as being this, as being, that's more of the definition of freedom. Freedom is about being able to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. That's freedom. The definition of abundance is being able to take whatever life throws at you and smile about it. That's really abundance, because the definition of abundance is more than enough. That's what the word means in the dictionary, more than enough. And the reason we all struggle and strain and hurt and hate and doubt and fear and divorce and everything, all of it, all comes from the fact that every day we're struggling with less than enough, less energy, less time, less spirituality, less sense of self, less pride, less joy, less love. We have less than enough of everything, not just money, everything. Most of all, time. We have less than enough time. And yet somehow in this COVID period here, I still hear people saying, I don't have enough time. It's like, well, how much bloody time do you want? Like, seriously, we shut everything down for a couple of months there. I know some people are back to work and whatever, but if you get focused on it, it's like, well, he has more time than me. It's like, no, he's got the same 24 hours that you have. It's not how much time he has. It's not how much time she gets. It's not because she doesn't have kids. Those are all excuses. We got the same amount of time. It's what we do with it. I've got 2 children, 2 grandchildren. They're all living under the same roof at the moment. I'm trying to run a business. Plus,
you have an abundance of fun in your house.
I have an abundance of fun. I have an abundance of required chores and tasks, etc. Not only am I the entrepreneur here, but I'm also the homemaker, because right now my wife is able to make more money than me. So I'm the one who tends to the home. So I'm also a full-time homemaker. And a lot of people say, how do you do it? And the answer is, I do it. I don't spend every day asking, how am I going to do it? The more time you waste asking how, the less time it's going to happen. But you've also seen my schedule, that incredible, crazy, anal retentive.
Is that your schedule?
Chart. Yeah, you've seen that, right? The color thing.
I didn't know it was yours.
Yeah, that's the one Rod showed from the level 1. That's mine. Yeah, and that's an old one. My new one's much more intricate.
So just for the people who might be watching, as part of our coaching program, Rod tells us to create a schedule of what we're gonna do when, and block it in our day. And he showed us the schedule, which apparently was Blake's, and it was down to like, was it 10 minutes, 15 minutes? I don't know. It was like, I was like, I don't know.
Am I able to share screen here?
I can probably let you. Let me just see. Can I? Oops, that's the wrong thing.
Because I know in Zoom that you can grant permission to.
Maybe over here. I can't figure out how to get you to share your screen.
Hang on. I think it's going to let me anyway. Yeah.
Woo-ha! Yahoo!
Doodly-doo.
I can share my screen, but I don't have it. So.
Okay. The only screen it's showing me is the one I'm already on. I was going to try and just share my desktop because it has my schedule on it. That's where I keep my
my goodness.
Hang on one second. I bet you I can just
It takes a certain kind of person to be able to, like, I like making that kind of schedule. I'm not very good at sticking to that kind of schedule.
Yeah.
And that's me telling myself, giving myself permission not to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which, that's a whole other conversation.
And let me see if it will let me do this.
Technical challenge. You know how to work this thing.
All right. This should show it. Just ignore the top bar because I'm actually sharing the actual file and it has the name of the schedule. And I can tell you a funny story.
Oh, there it is. Hold on. Let me add it to the stream. There.
Okay. So, you can't see it anyway. It's
Whoa.
too small.
It's huge.
There's naughty words up the top, so don't read that. So
don't read the bad words.
The funny story is I constantly tweak my schedule, but I started doing it so I saved the previous one in case I want to make some changes.
Where'd he go?
Instead of completely revamping it and just saving it as the new. So each time I add a new word to the schedule to differentiate it from the previous one. So it started as the schedule, and then it was another schedule, and then the next schedule, and the next dang schedule, and now there's a whole bunch of nasty words and adjectives describing the schedule, just for fun, just as a joke. It makes my son. Anyway, there's the schedule.
And do you pretty much stick to it?
I do. The biggest advantage to this schedule is, as my grandfather once said to me, rules are made to be broken, but you can't break them until you know the rules. And so that's what my schedule is. This allows me to juggle things. This allows me to move things around so that if something comes up, I'm quickly able to see, what am I supposed to be doing in this time frame that I'm now going to be doing that? And in a few seconds, I can go, great, I'll move that to there and that to there and that to there. And by the end of the week, everything gets done. Wow. So the answer is day to day, I don't always stick to it, but week to week, 99%.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much? That's a lot of work just to make that thing.
Well, not anymore. Now I just tweak it here and there. In fact, as you see, there was a little piece off to the side. I'm making a little adjustment right there. Those two little pink and purple off to the side are two slots that I'm changing around because I'm trying to get Jack outside a little bit more. So I feel like he's not getting enough exercise. So we're tweaking and changing a couple of things so that I can get him outside a little more.
And do you have a little thing on your watch that says, okay, now go do this, now go do this?
No, I have about 75 daily alarms programmed to this creature.
When it's not sleeping.
Yeah. When it's not sleeping, and there's no alarm set during sleep time. In fact, there's a couple of alarms reminding me to turn it off. So, but the fun part is all my alarms are songs. So they're all fun pieces of music, and many of them are related to the alarm. So if I'm far away from my phone and I'm working on one thing and the alarm goes off telling me it's time to get ready for the next block, even if I'm way far away and can't see my phone, I know what the task is that I'm required to do because the song will start playing, Don Henley's Dirty Laundry. And I know the next block will be to do the laundry. And yeah, exactly. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. And I got some kids songs on there for the kids, brush your teeth and stuff like that. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Yes, I did not realize that was your schedule.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed. And you are, I have said it in other things before that I've posted, like everybody has currency, time is currency, and everybody has the same amount of currency of time to spend. And
that's right.
You get to pick how you spend it, right?
I've always told people time is, people say time is money. It's like, no, time is far more valuable than money because for the most part, when money leaves, you can find a way to get it back. when time is gone, there's no recovery.
You can't buy more.
So
you can't get more no matter what you do. No matter how rich you are, you can't get more.
Great equalizer. Time is.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of people look at my schedule and say, I could never be, enslaved to that kind of schedule. I couldn't be held down. But, they use limiting words. It's like, I couldn't be forced to. It's like, no, you don't understand. I'm the one with the freedom.
Right.
Because those blocks tell me not only what I should be doing, but what I would be doing down the road. And so when free time presents itself, I can switch things around, blocks. I create so much free time for myself, but it's genuine free time because I spend about 10 seconds thinking about, I am done for a couple of hours here. And then I just enjoy. No one gets any free time because if they can etch out a moment to stop, all they do in the entire time they're stopped is worry about what they're going to have to do in 10 minutes time. When I take a break, it's a true break. It's done. It's finished. I don't ever think I may as well just be carrying my ashram around with me because when I go on break, the world is shut off. It's done.
Well, and it's true. Like as much as intimidating as that schedule might look to some people, when you've got it, because I do a weekly, not as extensive as yours. I do a weekly slot things into my calendar. And then I don't have to think about it because it's not cycling around in my brain. Don't forget to do this. You've got to think about this. You've got to think about this. I don't have to think about it. I already wrote it down. I'm going to think about it on Tuesday.
Yep. And if I don't look at it on the schedule, my alarm's going to tell me in a minute too. So I can focus, talk about being in the moment. I have things set up to worry about the next moment. So I don't have to. I can live in the moment, whether that's doing a chore that requires my attention or spending some quality time that I don't want to waste thinking about some crap that's an hour from now. And it's a wonderful amount of freedom. And the other thing people do is they look at my schedule and they say, yeah, but I'm not as organized as you. And it's like, no, I am the world's most disorganized person. I have lost my own head a couple of times. If you turn me around 3 times, I won't find my way to the next room in my own house. I am the most disorganized person. They say, how can you say that? How can you possibly say you're disorganized? And I said, well, what the heck do you think the schedule's for? I didn't devise that as a testimonial to my greatness. That's my crutch. That's how I get through the week, getting it all done and not forgetting half and screwing up the other half.
And it's just Excel, right? It's not a fancy app or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm pretty handy in the Excel. I might try it again. You've inspired me.
Oh, right on. Well, I love it because then I can just save it right on the front of my computer. So that's my my wallpaper. My wallpaper is my schedule. So if I can't
what I've been using
anywhere else, I can just open it up. So yeah, I love. I have a couple of gigantic journals. I got them right down here. Hang on a second.
This is a clever fox. Look.
Oh, that's a good one. I used to use Bouchard's, but I found it put too much pressure on me. So
that's why I got the clever fox, because everybody else wanted me to do too much. I'm gonna call it loosely woo-woo stuff, but it's not really. But it's just like that's not what I want to focus on right now.
Yeah, if you want to make notes of your intentions in the day, do, but make your own notes. Being guided by somebody else is like, some people may need that. I don't want to say it's wrong. I love Bouchard's planner. And for people who are just beginning their journey of beginning to organize themselves, their thoughts, their goals, their dreams, it's actually a wonderful way for them to get started. But graduate from it quickly and get to where you're dreaming up your own thoughts and ideas. And
now, because we're in the space, we both know who Bouchard is, but it's Brendan. For people who don't know, because they're not in the space, it's Brendan Bouchard, right?
Brendan Bouchard, yes.
Is it B-U-B?
B-U-R-C-H-A-R-D.
If you want to check out his planner, right?
Yeah. Check out his planner, check out his stuff, check out anything. He's cool. Don't do it when Rod's in the room. Rod doesn't like him.
I know.
I know you know.
Rod might be listening.
Let me clarify. Rod does not dislike him. As Rod tells us all the time, people have their tastes. Not everyone likes me. Not everyone's going to work with Heather. Not everybody appreciates Rod. Well, most people do. He's amazing. But
Rod is our coach.
Yes. But some people love Brendan Burchard. Some people love Tony Robbins. Some people couldn't be bothered with any of them. It's, everybody's different. Brendan is not Rod's particular frame of mind, taste, whatever you want to call it. It's not his cup of tea. Yeah. I can take him or leave him. I love what he teaches, but I can only take so much of listening to him.
Right. It's true.
I'm not sure of anybody. It's like Tony Robbins. I love what Tony does, but Tony's hard to listen to, man. He's because for you, first of all, you want to give him a lozenge, but I'm not going to make fun of Tony because I don't know if you know, but the reason why he has that voice and the big head and whatever, he actually has an affliction that causes.
Yes, I know. I can't remember why I know that. It's something with his pituitary gland.
That's right. It's the same thing that the actor Carl Strucken has. He's the guy who played Lurch in the updated Addams Family films.
Oh, right.
He has that. Right. And I believe the late Richard Cale, who played Jaws in the James Bond movies, I believe he had the same thing.
Oh, yeah. They've got that kind of size about them, right?
That's right.
So, yes. But I will credit Tony Robbins with the first time I made a major change in my life where I said, this is wrong. Yeah. I had started to read Awaken the Giant Within, and I think I only got through the first chapter, and I went, okay, I'm out. And I just changed it. I didn't even finish reading the book. All I needed was the first chapter.
I think Rod walked on coals with him. I think he actually did that one.
Well, I'm going to check on that next time we meet.
I think he did. I know he was or is a Robbins fan. I know he I know he went in for Tony.
Right.
For sure.
So I don't know how what color we are on your schedule or how much time you've slotted to this, but I do appreciate your time. But before you go, because can you believe we could talk all day, you guys? Seriously, Blake and I, we could just keep going on and on. But I want to know why. This is my question for you. Mm-hmm. Why do you love being a coach?
Oh, because my life got turned around, whether you want to blame the universe, timing, give it all me all the credit. I don't know. I don't bother asking that question very often. In fact, this is the only time it comes up. It's literally when I talk about how grateful I am that everything in my life turned around, and it turned around at a time that I most needed it to. And I was still young enough to enjoy it. And it's just the incredible gratitude. So every time I push forward now, when I was grumpy, when I was Mr. Grumpy, not the dwarf, when I was walking in those tight shoes, when people complained about things in their life, I would usually say something like, suck it up, get over it, cry me a river, etc. I'd say, hey, I got it tough. You think you got it tough? The dialogue.
The competition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got it worse, so shut up. So that was the way Grumpy talked. And so Gumpy, one of the biggest enlightenments that he experienced in his life was, I reached a point where I guess I got that ex-smoker mentality where you can go one way or the other. Either you can go throw it in people's faces and go, you should quit those disgusting things that I actually smoked myself for 32 years. Or, you can say to somebody, oh man, I feel your pain being out here in 40 below because you got to have the fix. And I've been there and I understand and I relate. And if you're not ready to quit, great. I'm not going to sit here and lecture you and be a hypocrite and a moron and a jerk. But if you want help, I did it. And I think I could give you some ideas and insights on how to do it. And that for me was almost every aspect of my life. So Gumpy went out and heard somebody complain about their life. And instead of saying, suck it up, or, oh, well, I don't live like that anymore. My immediate instinct, and I am a bit of an empath, but my instinct was to say, well, I'm not going to try and tell you what to do. And I'm not going to put you down. And I'm certainly not going to tell you you're being silly for feeling the way you do. What I will say is I've been there. I know where you're coming from. And I got past it. So maybe we could talk. And I can help you start to get past it. And one day somebody said, hey, that big thing you just had a big long-winded explanation of? It's called coaching. You should look into it because you got to have a natural talent for it. And the biggest sob I think I've had in my life, other than over tragedy, was when I told a friend of mine what I was doing, and I expected him to say, "Oh God, you're going to be a life coach." Okay, goodbye,
Right.
unfriend. He was a friend that I expected that would be his reaction, and he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Huh. Oh well, I guess you're just making it official." I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "I've known you for 25 years. You've always been a life coach. Congratulations on getting a piece of paper on the wall that says it." And
Right.
I kind of choke up a little telling the story, because I cried for 2 hours, because I went, wow, I've been so wrong about everything, because that person, I expected them to mock me and scoff me, and they said, "Well, it's about bloody time. You figured it out."
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
when you step into that, and it's not necessarily coaching, but when you step into that thing you're supposed to be, and you just feel like,
yeah.
And you were already doing it. You just didn't have a piece of paper.
That's it. Or really the understanding of it, searching for,
Right.
who am I? What am I supposed to do? And, yeah, but it is great satisfaction when you can kind of put a label or a name or something, an ID on it, and suddenly say, "Oh, okay, that's the name of what I am." Okay, there you go. So,
That's
and then
what I'm doing.
mentor, and it's like, okay, mentor, which to me is coach to someone close to you. It's kind of what I think mentor is just, you're still coaching, but you're coaching someone that maybe you have a stake in their life a little bit more than they are just like a client or a connection or something like that. So, and that was the other thing, is I realized, yeah, I guess that's what I've tried.
That's a really good story. I like that. That's amazing.
It's my story. It's all I got.
We are our stories.
Yeah. But the most important thing about my story that I learned only in the last few years, in fact, maybe 5 years, and it's the biggest, I don't often give advice. I give thoughts and insights, but this I'll give a straight up advice. As you look over the story of your life, as you consider recounting the story of your life, and as you begin to write the story of your life, past, present, and future, don't let anyone else hold the pen.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. You are so awesome, Blake.
So are you.
I give you a big hug.
Oh.
This is what I call COVID hugs.
I know. We call them virtual hugs. The VH, we call those on Wise Man. The
Give you some VH.
Oh,
so
I'm
where
telling
can people find you?
I'll give you the same warning I've given to everyone I know and love. When this is over, I'm coming for you.
I'm ready.
Big hugs. I know it's not a threat to you.
I know.
Some of my friends are like,
so where can people? I wanted people to know how they can find you if they want to find you.
Oh, well, you can come to my house, or
tell us where ARUBABUNDANCE is.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, yeah. Which I actually can tell you the exact street name, which is where I'm going to live. One day I'm going to live in one of the villas where we hold the retreat. It's in the Merlot Villas in Palm Beach. Yeah. And so the best way to find me right now is virtually, obviously, on Facebook. Just look up Blake Miles, or look up Blake Miles Abundance Coaching to find my page. And my groups are ARUBABUNDANCE and Build a Life That Is a Vacation. So you can always search those. And
can they find ARUBABUNDANCE? Because I looked for it and I couldn't find it. You had to invite me.
I don't know why ARUBABUNDANCE is hard to get to. It's just a regular private group. I didn't attach any extra security to it or anything. But yeah, a lot of people have a lot of trouble finding it. So the best thing is, if you want to get on to one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a page as well as a group. And I think what eventually I'm going to do is the page will be the general site for ARUBABUNDANCE, and then the group will go ultra private, and it'll just be for people who have signed up for the retreat. It'll be the retreat site itself, or I'll open a
retreat abundance.
Yeah, exactly. Just so it's just I'll probably privatize it down, but I will make a page, and then people will be easy, and anyone can get to it that way. But in the meantime, if you'd like to get into the ARUBABUNDANCE group, just reach out to me some other way, and I'll send you an invitation.
So, Blake do you have an email address? Blake at
my email address is, get this pretentious, lifecoach@n2lblake.com.
Is it the number 2?
Yes. N2lblake.com.
I just put it in the chat.
All right. And my my website's still under construction. You can visit it. There's actually a big thing in the front that warns you it's still under construction. But there's lots to visit and whatever. But it's because it's under construction, I'm still using the Wix, pre-site or whatever, and it's the address that long. So it's if you go to again, if you find me on Facebook, right on my profile or any of my pages, anywhere, there's a link. Just click it and it'll take you right to my website. Beautiful. Find Blake. And if you can't find Blake, but you know where I am, you can find Blake through me, right? And Heather always knows where I am. I don't know how. I'm looking into that, but somehow she does. I have your schedule. That's it. That's why. Well, that must be it. I gave away my schedule. Right. So Blake, someday I'm going to get you to do the voiceover for my intro reel. Oh, for your big voice. I'll have to put on my announcer voice. Right, big man voice. The big man voice, the big boy voice. Exactly. Blake, you're the best. You are the best. I'll send you another hug. Oh, thank you. We'll have real ones soon. Oh. We'll have real ones soon. Oh, it's like a drug for me. I've been hugged. I know. I'm hug free. Just say no to hugs. No, I can't. You can't do it. No. Okay, my friend. Have a beautiful afternoon. You too. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, my pleasure. You're the best. I mean it, really. Hanging out with you is always a joy. Thanks. You're the best. Take care.